Hello, Happy Cabby. First of all, the answer to your question is that no, it is not wrong to support universal and unconditional healthcare free at the point of delivery, paid for by the taxpayer. How you can ask that question, how anyone can ask that question, is beyond me. So because you are an American, because you live in a country where paying for the right to live is as natural as the rising of the sun, I do have to ask if you've been in America for too long. How else could you be swayed by these narrow-minded, selfish, self-serving, hypocritical, I'm not bigoted but arguments? However, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that this person became President of the United States, became the person in charge of the new legislation, became the person in charge of healthcare reform, and he or she created this charitable system whereby people could choose to donate money in exchange for a tax deduction, whatever they would pay in tax plus a bit more, and they could choose. And of course, sooner or later, to encourage people to be able to give freely. But remember, it's all about giving, it's all about charity. Yes, sooner or later, the legislation would be amended, new legislation would be brought in to say that the donors had a voice, they had a say in who this money went to. Oh, no, we cannot give money to save the lives of serial killers, of rapists, of people in prison, of people who are too lazy to get a job and get health care for themselves. Oh, people who do not share the same religion. People who happen to be in same-sex relationships. People who have an acquired gender. People who weren't born in this country. People... Do you see where I'm going here? The sad truth is that the world is filled with arrogant, self-serving hypocrites, bigots, fantasists and cowards who conjure up all kinds of comfortable illusions and excuses and rationalizations and justifications to moralize their self-centered bigotry, their greed, their petty personal prejudices. You live in a country where, yes, people can donate to charitable hospitals, to charitable medical foundations, and yes, a great many do. But you also live in a country where legislation is passed limiting access to healthcare for same-sex couples, for transgendered persons, banning abortion, so on and so forth. The principal argument is, the principal point, the argument, oh, it'll add $1 trillion to the deficit, oh, it'll cost jobs, blah, 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 blah. Economics are irrelevant. You hate the person, you dislike the person who is receiving healthcare. You do not want your money being spent on someone who you don't feel deserves it. Newsflash to America and to everyone else who thinks this way. The definition of society is collective effort, collective respect, mutual respect, the same responsibilities, the same duties, the same legislation, the same regulations, and the same rights and provisions for all. You do not get to choose which laws you obey and which laws you do not. If you are in the majority, then you can vote to change the law. But no, even then, self-serving hypocrisy, bigotry and so forth means that a farmer can shoot an unarmed 16-year-old boy in the back as he tries to run away and be labelled a hero, get out after only 3 years in prison. Reading this person's comments, I couldn't. Is this guy from a period? Is this guy from an adaptation of a Dickens novel, Christmas Carol? Are there no prisons, no poorhouses? Well, let them die and thus decrease the surplus population. What world are you people living in where you do not want to pay for other people's health care? You don't realise that the money is going into a central system so that, yes, if they get knocked down by a car, they get treatment. If you get knocked down by a car, you get treatment. Fair, equal treatment and provisions for all. Go north of the border and ask the question, should taxpayers pay for universal health care? And they'll look at you as if you're insane. What the hell are you talking about? Of course they should. Oh God. Deregulation of business, healthcare reform, on and on and on. All of these opposing healthcare reform, deregulation of business, so on and so forth. All of these capitalist measures designed to boost productivity and individuality and giving taxpayers the right to choose. Greed, selfishness, arrogance, racism, xenophobia. The only metaphor that comes to mind is crabs in a barrel pulling each other down. The more that you focus on yourself, I can't believe that you do not recognise. How about spending some of the 50% of GDP that you spend on building weapons and supporting the military, which has absolutely no practical purpose, on healthcare reform and creating new jobs, paying off the deficit, creating jobs that will be lost. The only reason they continue building these missiles that will never be used is so that they don't suffer the political backlash of 2,000 rednecks, 20,000 rednecks losing their jobs in Arkansas. Oh, it's the biggest tragedy. Oh, these socialist bastards. For God's sake. Believing that as a part of society you automatically, whilst receiving the benefits and provisions of that society, you automatically agree to the regulations, the strictures, the simple reality that that person is also a member of the same society, with an equal right to exactly the same provisions that you receive, exactly the same safeguards. It doesn't matter how much you hate them, it does not matter if you don't think that they deserve it. Society is built on collective effort, on sharing. on this all for one and one for all principle. If that is socialist, pinko, communist, then paint me red, give me a hammer and sickle, and call me Stalin.